Okay, so let's start with your name. What's your name?
Robin Chavarria.
Robin.
Yes.
All right, Robin, what do you do?
Well, typically I work estate sales, but on occasion I happen to also be an artist.
You work estate sales.
Estate sales.
Tell me about that.
Well, typically it's usually when elderly people pass on and their family is struggling to get everything out of the house, but they just don't want to throw it away. We will, get together and do an estate sale, and that involves a lot of cleaning, organizing, and then finally having the sale, and then afterwards it's more or less, give it all to Caritas or do a buyout and then move on to the next one.
You ever find anything really cool?
Oh, all the time. All
Like
the time.
what?
I found a white box D&D once, and that was pretty
White
cool.
box D&D?
Yes, first printing D&D in the box, yes.
What happened to that thing?
Oh, it sold.
Did it?
Yeah, most everything sells.
What did it go for?
I think like $200.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really
Not
cool.
bad.
Oh, it was
Here
awesome.
in this town?
Yes, which is
Wow.
rare. I think it's the only time it'll ever happen, ever.
That's pretty cool.
It is, totally is.
So, Robin, tell me about your passion. What is your passion?
Oh.
Is it estate sales?
Oh, no, well, it is kind of a passion. You have to be passionate about employment, but my passion is artwork and role-playing games and just creative ventures in general. I really, really enjoy just having fun and being able to use my brain for something more than numbers.
Okay. So if you could get paid for anything, would it be this?
It'd be for artwork or game design. They
Artwork
kind
or game design?
They kind of go hand in hand.
Okay. All right. So you're going to show us some of your artwork?
Oh, indeed I am. Are you guys ready?
So here's what I've observed, Robin, looking at your artwork. There are maybe 1 million lines on each one of these things?
Yes.
Is that about right?
Yeah, there's several 100,000 probably,
Okay.
depending on how I'm feeling and depending on how much line work I actually feel like getting done.
So what do you do this in?
I usually do it in pen and ink, pencil. Sometimes I'll start with pencil, then come over with ink, and then just erase the pencil as I go.
What kind of pen?
Usually I'm using Zigat, I think, or zigzag pens, and sometimes I'm using Bic pens, and other times I'm using Sharpie, or for that matter, Ohuhu markers. It just really depends.
Ohuhu, right?
Ohuhu,
Yeah, I know
yes.
what you're talking
Best
about.
best $20 you can spend for a pack of 40.
Yeah, it's a big old bag.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is awesome.
It's nice stuff.
Totally rad.
But this is all black and white.
This is all black and white. This is mostly
Okay.
pen and ink here. It's been
Okay.
culled from, my collection and artwork that I've given a friend, and they've loaned me so graciously the artwork that I've given them back.
How many of these things you think you do a week?
It depends. If I'm feeling particularly motivated, it could be anywhere between 4 to 10, and sometimes I only get one done a week. It just depends.
Really?
Yeah, and occasionally I will get a commission, and I'll get that commission done, and I'll get it out there, and that's usually
Let's talk about that.
commissions.
Yeah.
Well, whenever somebody expresses an interest with a commission, in most cases they will let me know, and I'll give them a price, and if it's agreeable, then they will give me money, and then I'll make artwork for them.
Is it mostly local?
Local,
Okay.
yeah.
Local folks?
Yeah,
Okay.
local folks. So friends that will see my artwork and be like, that'd be totally awesome hanging on my wall.
So the internet doesn't really come into play.
Well, I have a friend that sometimes, I do make jewelry, but I didn't bring any with me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do make jewelry on
What do you
occasion.
make jewelry out of?
Usually copper wire, turquoise, different precious
Wow.
stones. It just really depends. I'm still new at it, but it's a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
that's
And it's
cool.
a very involved process that requires a lot of patience.
That's awesome.
So if I'm feeling irritable, I just move on to actual pen and ink, and
Right,
I just
right.
try to keep it to my paper. Most of my dimensions is like 11 by 14 or 11 by 7. Of course, for that matter, I just got 14 by 17. It's giant, huge paper, so I can get bigger pieces done.
Well, let's take a look at some of this stuff.
Okay.
What are we talking about here?
Okay,
What do we got?
this here is a character that I created called, his name is Balthazar, and this is one of the creatures he's fighting
Say it
called
again.
Balthazar.
Balthazar.
Yes, not
Okay.
Bulbasaur, Balthazar.
Gotcha.
This is a creature called a behemoth, but here we go right here. And yes, it's
That's a bad-looking dude.
it is a totally bad looking dude. He
Yeah.
can totally eat the crap out of people. He can eat all kinds of lunches. I
Yeah.
mean, look at that mouth. That's like a Venus.
Bad dude.
It is. And then I got this piece.
All right.
Yeah, and I got this
What do you
piece.
got here?
Okay, this here is a Nyarlathotep from
like
H.P.
you said.
Lovecraft. And it's just one of its vestiges. Like, if it had offspring or monsters that inhabited a world that's just nothing but its creations.
Fell down my shirt.
You may keep it up?
Hang on. Yeah, I'll do it. A second. Go ahead. All right, we're We good?
Real pro, Mike.
Yeah, well, you know, it happens. Fell off my shirt.
Right.
All right.
All right, yeah, this is just one of its mini creations. You're going to find a couple other pieces in the stack that are kind of part of that. It's part of a story I've been working on for my Shadowrun campaign. And
Your Shadowrun campaign.
yeah, I do DM games on occasion, and I'm a DM for Shadowrun for my
Okay.
friends, and it's more or less like Into the Dark Realms, like, you know, Nyarlathotep's like own world, more or less, where they deal with this kind of horror,
All right.
and it's absolutely terrifying.
Let's take a look at the next one.
This here is called a Slave Maker, and it's this giant nanite, like, driven machine. It's literally just, all it does is kill people and turn them into zombies,
Sure.
and build more of itself. It's like a walking, living virus that just seeks to completely turn the world into a golden spear.
A golden sphere.
Yeah, golden spear. Its obsession is gold. You know, the
Wow.
representation for this character is
Okay.
greed.
All right.
And this here is an abstract piece I did. I was sitting at the bar when I did it.
I like that.
Thank you. It's done on about 5 different pens. I had one gentleman that was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool," and I drew that in one setting.
Yeah.
It took me about 6 hours.
So something I'm noticing here,
Yes.
you use, I don't know, a million lines, 2 million lines. I mean, where does all this scratching come from?
The scratching itself, more or less when I was as a child, like, you know, our artwork, I just was just kind of all over the place, but I didn't really get into doing lines until I was about in high school.
Okay.
And I remember it was art appreciation, but like, we were looking at cross hatching and hatching and just trying to make all the lines work together, and
Yeah.
then, you know, kind of like shapes, geometrics, just is one of my obsessions.
Right.
You know, and it's not always evenly measured. It's just, you know, more or less just kind of guesstimating like on how I feel.
Yeah.
You know, and in regards to it, so yeah, you'll get a lot of like, you know, geometric shapes, cube shapes.
So when
and-
we look at something like this,
Yeah.
the thing I notice is the shading that you do with like cross hatching. You also do shading around the edges here with just different lines.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like you're just making lines until they're dark enough to make shade.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. In most cases, yes.
Okay.
And it's very time consuming, but I
You
enjoy
can, see
doing
a,
it.
you can see a lot of cross hatching here.
Yeah.
Right? But with something like this, I mean, it's just literally line after line after line.
Yeah.
But this up here is a completely different technique, isn't it?
Yes.
Because this is all square. Yeah, very, very square, very. You're thinking out each one of these shapes as you draw.
Yes.
But then when you get to something like this, it's just crazy time, right?
Kind of. You know, in a way, that each character is kind of built, you know, as I line it
Yeah.
in. You know, with this, you know, I was doing the lines for it, and I mean, I sat there for hours just kind of building that dog, and then as everything came together, you know, it kind of built itself for me, and I was like, okay, well, cool, that's what it's going to be. Sometimes I have no intention of drawing one thing or the other; it just kind of comes to me.
It's very cool, man. I like this piece a lot
Thank you.
because honestly, like I say, you're looking at like 9 different techniques here. You know, there's like 9 different things going on. That's nice. That's nice. I like that a lot.
Thank you. This here is, you know, more or less a like Iron Giant. I remember being at the Richland Mall, and I was sitting out in the parking lot, and I saw that giant metal soldier that they had
Yeah,
before they
yeah,
painted it. You know,
yeah.
I was like, wow, that smokestack looks like a robot. So I drew it, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then I just kind of, you know, put it away for a little while. And then I was passing by, they painted him up like the Tin
Yeah,
Man or the Nutcracker, and I was like, oh wow, okay. But I mean, more or less, this is just built. I drew it to be built from different kinds of junk, different kinds of materials.
So on the back it says, "Forsooth the Sentinel."
Yes,
What is that from?
it's just a thought I had, just
Okay.
a title.
Okay.
And most of the time, I don't like to mark things on the front. I always try to autograph or sign on the back, so that way it's not
Okay.
detracting from the image.
All right. All right. So show me one more, and then I know you've got something in color, right?
Yeah, I do have several pieces in color.
Okay. Let's take a look at some of those after we talk about this.
This here is Cthulhu, but take into consideration, it's if Cthulhu was an embryo, if it was, you know, gestating as opposed to always existing since the beginning of time.
Yeah.
I actually drew this at the bar, and I had one guy who just was fascinated with it, so much so that he pretty much paid for me to get drunk while I drew this thing. And
So
It
once
just kinda-
again, on something like this, you've got a technique of kind of a scribble down here. Then you've got maybe sort of a crosshatch. You've got, I mean, you just have about 19 different things going on here, man.
Yeah.
That is. So on something like this, do you start with the outline
No.
and then you come back?
Rarely do I start with an outline. In most cases, when it comes to artwork, I just go. I just put the
Really?
I just put the pencil or pen down and I go. Sometimes if I sketch out, I'll draw it that way. If I'm doing a commission, I'll do it that way.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I'll just put the pen down and I'll go.
Well, what amazes me about something like this is it all fits on the page.
Yeah.
So normally when you see people do kind of this overall scratching and sketching with a pen, they will whatever they're drawing tends to kind of fall off the page.
Yeah.
You know, one side, top side, bottom side, whatever. Yours is controlled within this space.
Yeah, in most cases, I will endeavor to keep the piece on the page. Now, there are
Yeah.
times when it's so massive and sprawling that it will cut
Well, I
off.
get that. I get
Yeah.
that. But you can definitely tell on some of these that you're like honestly trying to keep it within that space, whatever it may be. And some of yours are bigger than they are smaller, but this one particularly looks like you paid really close attention to your boundaries.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
Yes, yeah, definitely. When I was doing this, I mean, I had the idea in mind of what I wanted to do, and
Yeah.
I mean, it just came to me, and I did it, you know. And a lot of the time, I try to just stay on topic, or stay on target, I should say.
Sure.
Yeah, but I mean, it was.
All right.
It's just I love H.P. Lovecraft as well.
Let's take a look at some of your color stuff.
Okay, let me get to it then.
What do you got?
Okay, well, I got these right here, which are drawn in Ohuhu. Let me see if I can get to. Let me see if I can get to this one right here. Yeah, sorry. Oil pass.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna blow my nose.
That's fine. That's fine.
No, cut that out. Aaron gets that. Yeah, I bet it does.
I love all the subtle nuances.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll put it in my pants here in a second. Yeah. Here, I just.
Oh my God. All right.
right.
Okay, this here is just if I took this is again Shadowrun, but if I took a Terminator and gave it Shadowrun style cyber limbs,
All right.
you know, just kind of kept it simple. This is of Ohuhu markers. Just kind of did this.
So for anybody who doesn't know what Ohuhu markers are,
They're
alcohol-based markers.
Yes,
right?
they are, and you
Okay.
can actually bring the tips together to blend them to make
Yeah.
different colors, and it's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
Like it saves so much on money because you can just make your own colors.
So they're basically Prismacolor markers on a budget.
Actually, yes, absolutely. That
They're
is.
basically made at the same place that Prismacolor markers are made.
Yeah, chances are, it's
Yeah.
China, right?
But they're like you say, on a budget. They ship them in a nice little bag.
Yes.
That zips up.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, they're usually double-ended, right?
Always.
So they've got
the fine and broad tip. Yes.
Yeah, they got the chisel end on one side, and they got the fine tip on the other side.
Yes.
So, did you do any? Let's see. I don't see a lot of like blending,
No.
but I do see color over color.
Yeah, layering.
Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I like the layer. Absolutely like the layer.
So when you do something with layering, are you letting it dry first and then you're coming back over it?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but this is more or less just an
But
experiment.
again, your lines are what stands out. I mean, because when you take a look at some of these dark lines here, you drew a line, and then you came back and drew a line another 1,000 times.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's a lot of lines. That's some big, thick stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like it. It's very cool.
And then we got this here.
So let's go back to this just for 1 second. This is
Yeah.
me just being a geek. The white space here, was
Yeah.
that intentional?
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes I will leave white space around a character if
Yeah.
I want the character just to be seen.
Stand out.
Exactly, precisely that.
What's the deal with this spike back here?
That spike right there is a retractable arm blade, more or
Okay,
less. And I mean,
alright.
you're going and charging at somebody. It's just like, probably
Yeah.
really ruin their Christmas. I mean, a
There
Terminator.
you go, ruin their Christmas.
Oh
That's
yes,
a nice- I like
yeah. I
that.
mean, it's just totally just what I think a Terminator would do, running at you at the speed of cars.
Yeah,
so you
yeah,
got to
yeah.
watch out.
I like the layering though, man.
Thank you so
Nice
much.
stuff. Yeah.
This here is another Ohu, and this is perhaps one of the first marker ones I had done.
Yeah.
And this more or less is just kind of
And
like
you
a
almost did some blending here with
Yeah.
the fire.
yeah.
Right?
I was
But
trying
again, it's more layering
more layering.
than
Yes.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to see how it'd go. More or less, this is just a techno Viking.
Yeah, it's cool. I like
Inspired
it.
by Destiny. And then this
one to me, and I think I said this to you last time, it kind of looks like stained glass to me.
Yeah, this is two of my characters from the game that I've been playing, and husband and wife, but it's more or less just like, I
Put
guess
them in the fire.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, they are fire. Like they are literally like death incarnate. I mean, they're not good people, but yet they do have that sort of bond, that relationship
I
they
hope
have.
we meld in eternity.
Yeah, we hope we meld in eternity. Yeah,
That's nice.
And
like it.
Thank
like
you.
it.
And this here's an oil pastel piece.
This is oil pastel.
Oil pastel. I do.
So we're talking about the crayons at this point, right?
Yeah, they're like crayons.
And not crayons when you think of normal crayons.
Yeah.
They're more like sticks of pastels.
Yes.
In the traditional word crayon.
Yeah,
Right?
well, yes.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah, but this here is.
And again, no real blending. This is layer over layer, isn't it?
Layer over layer, yeah. I have other pieces. I just cannot find all my pastel pieces.
I got you.
It's
messy.
Yeah.
It's a messy business.
It can be a messy business.
Yeah. So this up here reminds me of kind of the Van Gogh
Starry
Night
yeah.
look. Yeah, very much so.
I mean, this
Because
piece.
you've got kind of the waves, going throughout.
I just kind of I wanted one motion, so I tried to keep it as such.
Yeah,
And
that's cool.
I came in with the white, and then I came in with the violet and the just the different kinds of purple.
But what amazes me is what wins are the lines.
Yeah.
You did all this up here, and that was great. And then it's like, screw it, lines. And so you came down here and you just said, oh, I need a bunch of lines.
Actually, I started with the base
Did you?
first. Yes.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
The whole piece in total probably took me about 12 hours to do.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of detail.
Oh yeah, I did listen to all of Very Dark Very Quick during the entirety of this piece.
That's nice. I like that.
Yeah,
that's good. It's good. Yeah.
Absolutely great.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Thank you.
I do like the motion, man. Very nice.
Thank you.
nice.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So, what do you want to do with this stuff?
Well, this artwork, I'm just
I'm just talking about your artwork in general. What do you want to do?
Yeah, that's a good question. I just make it, and I hope that somebody may have an interest in it someday. And at some point, if I can get just the time to be able to do it, put together an art book of my artwork. I mean, I see that other artists will do that, but most of the time they're established. I've done a few art shows, but for the most part, it's just, I go to them and I watch the local artists like Brian Broadway.
So you talk about doing art. Say that again. Say the name.
Brian Broadway.
Okay.
Yeah, he's done a lot of artwork with the Waco Artwork Forum, and he's kind of been featured around town, throughout the years, and he's pretty cool. But he's the one who kind of gave me a foot to my butt about. He's like, I like your artwork, man, but you don't have any of it anywhere. You at least got to keep creating it. So I did. You know.
So are there any plans for this other than make a book at some point?
I mean, yeah, I've been working on my game, and some of this artwork is from that universe, and some of it's just kind of abstract and out there. The cosmic aspect of it. I do have other pieces in here. If you see something select that you'd like to show, you're more than welcome to.
Do you have any of this stuff on the internet?
I do. I do have an DeviantArt.
Okay, so you got it on DeviantArt.
I do.
All right.
Yeah, dirkrichards.deviantart.com.
Spell it for me.
DIRKRICHARDS.
Okay. All right. Dirk Richards.
Yes, .deviantart.com. It's a lot of my older work. I haven't updated recently. I've been looking for another forum to be able to post my artwork.
So let me ask you one final question.
Okay, shoot.
And this really doesn't have anything to do with your artwork. It's more about you in general.
Okay.
Okay. What's your money shot?
My money shot?
Yeah.
What's the money shot? What do you mean by that?
So
exactly?
the money shot would be, what is your ultimate thing? What is your, it could be a quote, it could be a thing about you, it could be a thing about the world. What is your ultimate thing, your money shot? What is it?
Man, that's a tough question. That's philosophical almost.
Yeah.
I mean...
It's what we do.
Oh, I imagine so. My money shot. Wow. Of all the things I could say right now, all the quotes have eluded me at present, because I always try to hold on to...
a quote from you, not anybody else.
Oh, it's referring to me, actually.
What's for you?
Oh, my word. Oh, wow. I mean, if you're late today, you're early for tomorrow.
If you're late today, you're early for tomorrow.
Yes.
That's really good. I like that. That's not bad at all.
Well, thanks.
Good job, man.
Yes.
I like your stuff.
Thank you.
I really do. I can tell that you put hours and hours into these things.
Yeah.
This is you on a piece of paper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I like this pastel piece and a few of the other pieces were ones that I completed in anticipation, since Volk was like, landscapes.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, landscapes, we're doing landscapes, let's do it, you know. But that was fun.
Not many boats.
No, you want me to draw boats, I can draw boats.
Okay. It's good talking to you, man.
Likewise,
I
Mike,
really
thank you.
appreciate it.
Oh,
I
you're
really
welcome.
appreciate it. All right.
Yes.
Thank you.